You're with the India Today exit poll special. We are bringing you the details of the Axis My India poll on Bihar. And the exit poll is giving a 2% lead, 2% at the moment to the NDA over the Mahagathbandhan. How will it translate into seats? That's what we're going to tell you in a moment. The headlines. After the big turnout in Bihar, all eyes. Will that big turnout result in pro or anti-incumbency? The India Today Axis My India exit poll will tell all. The Bihar exit poll numbers on gender show a clear surge in the Mahila vote share for NDA, but a strong support for the MGB among males and youth. Axis My India exit poll predicts first-timers and voters between the age of 20 to 29 want Tejashwi and not Nitish. Prime Minister Modi chairs a crucial cabinet meet on security at his residence days after the Red Fort blast. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Home Minister Amit Shah, other union ministers at the meet. Massive hunt now launched for another car of terror. Police issue alert for a red EcoSport with registration number DL10CK0458. Police at all border points told to be fully armed. Okay, we've said that there is, as per the Axis My India poll, 43% to NDA, 41% to Mahagathbandhan, 5% to Jan Suraj. How is this translating into seats? We are now going to go region by region, and we are going to tell you the first region is Champaran. Purvi and Paschim Champaran taken together. Vote percentage, NDA has a 3% lead here, 44%, 41%, Jan Suraj, 6, others 9. How is this translating into seats? Now let's look at seats transfer, the tough task for any pollster. NDA gets 12 out of 21, Mahagathbandhan gets 9. But there is a story there because remember in 2020, the Mahagathbandhan got just 3 here and the NDA swept the region. So these are now gains for the Mahagathbandhan in the first region that we are looking at, which is Champaran. So historic Champaran, where remember Mahatma Gandhi had his satyagraha, which changed, many believe, the course of India's freedom movement. But let's get your immediate reactions to what you've seen in Champaran. Maria, these numbers clearly show that the Mahagathbandhan is scoring in areas where in 2020 they had losses. Was there local anti-incumbency against MLAs, many of whom were not changed?
Yes, and I think what worked in favor, may have worked in this particular region is that the RJD, which is contesting on the maximum number of seats, which is 143, they had changed 40% of their candidates, which essentially meant that the sitting getting formula, which is usually applied in most states and most districts, was not applying this time around. And that is why I would say Purvi and Paschim Champaran, where last time around the NDA had an edge, the Mahagathbandhan seems to be
Quick
gaining.
responses right around the table. Yes, Preeti.
Rajdeep, Champaran was one region, Darbhanga is one region which was looked at swing districts this time around. Champaran, I was in Northern, the seat of Northern, where a sitting MLA today is of a BJP. This is also an area where there are two friendly fights as such between the Mahagathbandhan which are taking place in this area. This was an area where, the spotlight was on this area if the MGB will gain. And I'll tell you what could have been the difference on why we see this number, if this number actually holds. Because I would have thought the NDA would have made gains in Champaran. That difference, I think, is Jan Swaraj, Rajdeep. Jan Swaraj is very popular in this particular Saran, Sivan, Champaran, very popular, high migration population.
Are you surprised with the Champaran findings?
A bit surprised because despite the candidate factor, I expected that consolidation of EBCs, women factor should have retained the NDA. If these numbers were to be true, I'd bring the candidates' relatability, the local anti-incumbency as the sole factor that should give such a kind of number. So a bit surprising given the ground sentiment, but nevertheless, if it's true, it has to be more about the candidate than the
Are you surprised, Rajat, that the BJP didn't drop more candidates? Normally, the Narendra Modi formula is you drop more than 50% of your sitting MLAs. They haven't done that in Bihar.
No, especially in Tirhut and Darbhanga region, which is part of in the neighborhood areas around the Champaran that you are defining as, BJP was able to sweep the entire region, and at least in these numbers, it doesn't seem like they've been able to sweep. Is this because of the strategy which BJP adopted of not changing and going by local incumbents? I don't know. BJP would have done their own calculations, but why and how is Mahagathbandhan able to gain ground on this is still something that we need to double click on.
Even before we go region by region, maybe we'll have to reverse the order and first give you the big numbers. Because what we now have is the Axis My India poll, big numbers. You're seeing them flashing on your screen. 43% plays 41%, 4% to Jan Suraj, 12 to others. That's the vote share. How is this translating into seats? That's the big one now. Take a look at what the seat share is looking like at the moment. As per the Axis My India poll at the moment, it is 98 to 118 to the Mahagathbandhan. 98 to 118 to the Mahagathbandhan. NDA getting 121 to 141. So you've got the NDA halfway mark is 131. Halfway mark for the Mahagathbandhan is 108. It's almost same as 2020. If you look at it in terms of seats, it's very, very similar. You've got Jan Suraj 0 to 2, NDA 121 to 141. So even at their lower end, they are touching the majority mark. The Mahagathbandhan's best case 118. If that happens, then you have a possibility of being close, maybe not close enough, but certainly close, given that there are 1 to 7 others. So the Mahagathbandhan will hope that they get the top end of Axis My India. The NDA will hope they get the top end of that. But what you are seeing is an intensely competitive election in Bihar this time if the Axis My India numbers are to hold. That suggests a much closer contest than most people have predicted. Let's go right round the table with those big numbers. Are you surprised, Manisha Priyam, with those numbers?
Big numbers, I think there's greater comfort because I did see the NDA in the lead, but I did see a very tight contest. It's in the granular picture, and Champaran definitely surprising me because I do see it as an RSS stronghold, let alone an NDA stronghold. So I think there would be many nuances, many regional pictures, but the big picture holds.
Javed.
It confirms reports from the ground that it is a seat by seat and a much closer election than as is being predicted.
Preeti.
Rajdeep, I did think India had the edge. It's a close election. But if these numbers hold, Rajdeep, the fact what I see here is I doubt if the Mahagathbandhan has the stamina then to hold on to 118 or get closer to 120. I think that stamina, the advantage now clearly lies with the NDA. If you look at the components of the Mahagathbandhan, the weakest link will be the Congress. The left is not doing as much. Possibly it will be the RJD, which will be the single largest party.
We'll come to the breakdown. We'll come to individual parties because that might well tell a story, particularly of whether the Mahagathbandhan is being pulled down by its own allies. These numbers could even result in the RJD once again becoming the single largest party and yet not being able to cross the halfway mark. Gaurav, your first remarks.
The bigger picture, when I interviewed Amit Shah in Purnia, he was very confident that they're actually crossing 160. And the BJP was giving details of man-on-man marking, seat-on-seat marking. They seem to think that they are on the higher side of this 141. However, people we spoke to on ground. So, for example, even when you went to Mokama, in a tola where you had the Bhumihars, you had the JDU ahead. In a tola where you had, the RJD supporters or the Yadavs, you had the Yadavs ahead. So, it's very strong caste-based voting that has happened in Bihar.
What is evident here, Rajdeep, is that we seem to have overestimated the women factor. Otherwise, that would have led to a clean sweep for the NDA, driven by the women voters. And again, the underestimated perhaps the youth factor, which seemed to be also pushing Tejashwi closer to the halfway mark.
Well, if the women were not there, it would be even more trouble for the NDA. That's also very clear when you have a 5% lead and eventually it's coming down to 2%. Sajjan, your first comments on those big numbers. Are we going to see on Friday a much closer contest than many other exit pollsters have been predicting? I've seen polls giving NDA even as high as 160.
Let me reconcile my ground insight and Axis numbers. I would like to go by the lower denominator for Gathbandhan and higher denominator for the NDA. That's how I reconcile my feedback on the ground. and the Axis numbers.
What's the difference
So
according
that's
to you?
98.
What's the difference between the two alliances? Where is that big edge to the NDA coming from, Sajjan?
So that's again the Mahila factor is there. That was very much visible. And two, Tejashwi's traction in 2020 was beyond the core constituency, right? That's something that we did not see this time beyond Muslims and Yadavs. Here and there, because of the candidate factor, you see the traction. But Tejashwi as a person who is appealing, who is someone who is making a mark in the mindset, that is something that we did not see happening in 2020. Was that we have a fresh Tejashwi. This time he was seen more as a leader of the Yadavs, not as a leader of the youths.
Okay,
right?
that's a contentious point. I'll just add one element to that. The 2020 elections, remember, were held in the backdrop of COVID. Lots of migration, lots of anguish and anxiety that people faced. Tejashwi, with his promise of 10 lakh jobs, which was achievable, or was a dream that people believed could be realized, was able to attract people at that time. Again, the Congress let him down, if you recall. I've always believed 2020 was Tejashwi's election to win. But Rajat, your first remarks to the big numbers.
I think Pradeep ji is just hedging. He is just hedging on both the sides.
No, so are you saying that Pradeep Gupta is virtually suggesting a potential hung assembly? I can tell you that I spoke this morning to Prashant Kishor. Prashant Kishor is saying, don't rule out a hung assembly, but go ahead.
No, again, I don't care about individual making a remark. We're talking about data. Now, if a data of 2%, you need to look at the maps of how the 2% is localized versus generalized across the state of Bihar. Having said that, looking at the numbers and looking at whatever distribution that you can presume of the women voters, I just believe that Pradeep ji is hedging here on both the extremes, wherein one extreme is a hung assembly and the other is a clear win.
I'm just going to stop you for a moment. I'm going to play that graphic again that you just saw beyond the big numbers. We are now going to go into the party split. This, according to me, is the story also within a story of Bihar. Which party is pulling what, how many seats? Take a look at this. As per the Axis My India poll, BJP 50 to 56, that's down almost 20. Remember, they got 75 last time. They are down between 50 to 56, midpoint 53. JDU, which was 43 last time, is now at a midpoint of 59. So the JDU gaining, BJP coming down. The Lok Janshakti doing very well. Many people have written it off. 29 seats contesting, leading as per the survey, 11 to 16. Could Chirag Paswan have become that critical factor with his 5% vote? Remember, his father, Vilas Paswan, always knew how to be on the winning side. The rest 4 to 7, and that includes Upendra Kushwaha and the Hindustani Awam Morcha secular of Jitin Ram Majhi. And Majhi, of course, has chosen good seats. He knows how to choose the right seats. On the other side, RJD 67 to 76. If you looked at purely this as Kaun Banega Sabse Badi Party, RJD once again. Halfway mark 72. So RJD is almost repeating as per Pradeep Gupta's the performance it did in 2020.
But he's contesting much more also this time.
He is
BJP is contesting less, JDU is contesting less,
50% strike rate on both the
each.
sides.
So they're contesting
All
less
the three
and
parties,
yet winning more.
Big parties are
but there is a
50% strike rate.
You're right. In terms of strike rate, the BJP is virtually where it is, because last time, of course, the BJP did contest a few more seats. 112. So 11 more seats, but they are down by 20. So the BJP is, as per his survey, is underperforming. The JDU and the allies are taking it over the halfway mark as per his poll. RJD party number 1. Congress 17 to 21. Congress will be thrilled with those numbers. Because the Congress...
And Rajdeep Sardesai, from the likes of you who wrote their obituary, it was premature.
But Javed, they themselves wrote their obituary.
Mr. Javed Ansari, 17 to 21 seats is only winning 33% of the 61 seats you have.
So...
that's like clutching at straws. Okay, halfway mark is... 1 minute. Halfway mark is, for the Congress is 19. So the Congress which contested 70 last time, 119, is winning 19, contesting 61 this time.
No, they're not. No, not even 50. 51 on paper.
Plus 11 friendly, 8 friendly fights.
No. Okay, they wanted 61, they took back 3, they had 58, 8 are friendly fights, 51 is what they're contesting.
So at the end of the day, the fact is that the Congress is virtually where it was last time, having contested fewer seats. The next one, VIP. This was the party that was the Mahagathbandhan was hoping would also pull it up. It is contesting 13 seats. It is 15 seats. It's winning 3 to 5. So it's not winning 50%. Some of the allies need to start winning 50% of the seat. The others rest is 10 to 16,
Rajdeep,
which is
that's where the
primarily
micro data is.
primarily the CPI-ML. So the CPI-ML is the one which is
Pulling it down.
which is pulling up in a way as it did last time, the Mahagathbandhan. Others 1 to 7.
No,
Most-
Rajdeep.
I would say
The CPI is doing badly.
But ma'am, just a minute. Let us please break down the numbers. Others have to be 1 to 7 and the JSP is 0 to 2. So you've got a situation at the moment which, if these numbers hold, clearly show RJD party number 1, but the allies of the BJP are doing reasonably well, particularly the JDU and the Lok Jan Shakti, and thereby ensuring the BJP is over the halfway mark. Could the story be of, at the end of the day, having a wider alliance gives you that 2 or 3% extra vote? Getting in an Upendra Kushwaha, getting in a Chirag Paswan who fought last time is turning to be the game changer, am I right?
Yes, precisely, because you find on the ground excellent chemistry and arithmetic when Paswan voters are coming. All the theories about two parties,
transfer.
Vote transfer is happening on the ground on the pattern. Two, also, you see, Kushwaha factor in Bihar never had a synchronized voting pattern like Kurmis, Yadavs, etc. Right? So Magad and Bhojpur region did have CPI-ML vote bank. So therefore, but still compared to 2020, you find more Kushwahas voting. Similarly, you find among the non-Paswan, non-Ravidas, Dalits, you have more traction towards Mahagathbandhan, NDA. So that way, certainly NDA chemistry and arithmetic is more in sync, compared to that.
Let's look at the let's look at two parties. One is BJP, the two national parties. Rajat, if the BJP looks at these numbers, they were delighted last time because they had emerged for the first time as a serious contender for power, just one seat behind the RJD. Now, having gone down, if these numbers hold, is this an acceptance that the BJP in Bihar, the one state where they've not had a chief minister of their own, has their limitations?
I think the entire leadership of the state unit of the BJP has been struggling. They have lacked any charismatic leader who have their own goodwill to swing elections on their own. And that misery continues. And I think this is the reason why they have to still, agree to 50-50 sharing of seats and everything. I just believe that the whole unit, the state unit, does not exude confidence, and that starts reflecting into lack of performance even on the ground. And I don't think the central BJP has any options in terms of picking the right faces. They're experimenting with certain faces from outside, but that's about it. There is no reimagination.
Just for 30 seconds, BJP is no longer the junior partner in an alliance. In Bihar, it is contesting equal number of seats as the JDU. 101 is what both of them are contesting.
But
yes,
Gaurav,
JDU winning more,
be,
no doubt, according to these numbers. But the fact remains that the way they're campaigning, the bigger election machinery that they have, they are trying to make deeper inroads along with the RSS.
Okay, Preeti, your first reactions to what you're seeing from the Congress party. You said that the Congress party, compared to last time, contesting fewer seats, is winning the same number of seats. Does that suggest that the Congress party got better seats this time, or they've run a better campaign?
No, I don't think they've run a better campaign, and I actually don't think they bargained for better seats, because most 34 seats is where they're facing off against the BJP and the JDU, and they really don't have that much of a great track record. I think what is bolstering the chances of the Congress here, and I have to say, is despite of the Congress's performance on ground, it is, the larger anti-incumbency. People are feeding into that. Number one. Rajdeep, when you look at the others, and if you can put all the data out in terms of the party breakup, the left last time around got 16 seats. Where you look at others, which left is a component of 10 to 16, there are 7 other components that the MJB has, along with IP Gupta's party and 6 other smaller factions representing 1 or 2 seats where the Dalit communities are concerned. The left is pulling the Gathbandhan down here. The left is not doing as well as it did in 2020. And the other one point I'd like to make, the BJP would be gutted to see these numbers. They truly would be gutted to see these numbers. They were clearly expecting over 70.
If these numbers, of course,
if these numbers hold.
One point here. If we look at, in terms of the strike rate, the JDU strike rate is the best among all the political parties.
Yes.
It is at 61%. The RJD's is around 52%. Important factor, as we have been saying, Rajdeep, that this election is revolving around Nitish Kumar. He's the central figure of this election, and he is the one actually who has pulled up the numbers of the BJP. What is BJP's contribution to this number or to the overall picture of the NDA? Of course, they are bringing in the upper caste votes. But of course, we have been talking about the election winning machine. They have good booth management. But as far as the vote catching ability of Nitish Kumar is concerned, that remains intact, even after if he has been in power for 20 years.
So what these numbers would suggest is Tejashwi is firmly, if these numbers hold, Tejashwi is firmly the face of the opposition. But Nitish Kumar Bihar ki majburi hai ya zaruri hai, whichever way you look at it, it will be Nitish again if these numbers hold. Good point to go and join all our political guests. Sanjay Kumar, National Spokesperson JDU. Jayan Jigyasu, National Spokesperson RJD. Anukruti is the space spokesperson Jan Suraj. Guru Prakash Paswan, National Spokesperson BJP. To you, Mr. Paswan, first, if these numbers hold, and I keep emphasizing it's a big if, how will the BJP see this? 50 to 56 is what you're winning in a state where you won 75 last time. Is there an acceptance, as Maria just said, that this is Nitish's election? To an extent, BJP has piggybacked on Nitish rather than the other way around as was 5 years ago.
No, Rajdeep ji, I don't think I agree with the position, but you have to understand when you are giving a sector-wise data. If you look at the sector-wise data, we have very strong leaders. If you look at Champaran, we have Radha Mohan Singh ji, and Radha Mohan Singh ji has been a member of parliament from Motihari for the last 30 years. If you look at the Kosi region, and I'm happy that you have given the data sector-wise and region-wise, from Jhanjharpur, we have a young and dynamic Nitish Mishra as well. So I don't think we do a great amount of disservice by putting the blame on state BJP for that matter. Bihar election are always very intense, and I don't think anyone better than you would understand this perspective. What we fail to understand in this entire calculus is that the consolidation of the EBCs, there are 36 communities. The Nishads, and in fact, when we speak of the EBCs, the Nishads saw how repeatedly Mukesh Sahni was insulted. His brother was denied a symbol from the very prestigious seat of Gauda Badam of Darbhanga. So I agree with you when you say it's a very candidate specific, it's a very state specific election. But you cannot discount the fact that the large number of women, the large number of youngsters, they have come out, and it's very, it's not justified to assume that the youngsters voted for the Tejashwi Yadav.
Today,
what we realize in this election, and I say this.
Sir, I have to go with the data before me. You're getting Mahila vote, but not getting the Yuva vote, which is one of the interesting factors of this election. I want to go to Jayant Jigyasu, National Spokesperson RJD. It almost seems that this is 2020 redux in a way in terms of the overall seat share, if these numbers hold. It's a big if. I keep repeating it's an exit poll. Is there any hope you have, given these numbers, that you could form a government, or will you fall short like you did last time? Because none of your allies are getting 50% of the seats. You're the only potential party within the Mahagathbandhan getting 50% of its seats that it's contesting.
Will be remembered for the statesman spirit of Tejashwi Yadav. And he has discharged his duties very conscientiously in 10 years stint as a legislator, as the deputy CM, as the leader opposition. And people trust him. People like him, admire him, appreciate him, and they want to see him as the next Chief Minister of Bihar. Whatever he promised, he has delivered. And as far as these exit polls are concerned, I'm still unable to decipher, and it's still enigma for me. And the very futility of exit polls or opinion polls or any kind of survey.
So you don't trust these numbers. What are your internal numbers saying? Jayan ji, आपके internal numbers क्या कह रहे हैं?
I don't believe in palmistry or any kind of celestial announcement, but I can assure the supporters and members and sympathizers of our alliance that we are quite confident that we are going to form the government with clear majority, and we need simply 122 votes. We don't want to boast of Mazboot Sarkar. We have seen that disinvestment ministry was created in the Vajpayee era, and under the pressure of crony capitalists, Pramod Mahajan was disseminating the very propaganda of feel good and India shining. And when the final count came, Vajpayee had to go. So
we'll wait and see whether Bihar 2025 is India 2004. Exit polls are not the final. Exit polls are not the final results. We'll wait and see. But Sanjay Kumar, National Spokesman. Just a minute, sir. Sir, let everyone get their initial remarks. Sanjay Kumar, your National Spokesperson, JDU. Is this a vote for Nitish Kumar if these numbers hold? Is that very clear? Nitish Kumar is the next Chief Minister, or will he in some way be ready to hand over to someone else?
Thanks, Rajdeep. I think as of now, Nitish ji is going to be the next Chief Minister of Bihar. We are pretty sure. And as Maria also said, and we spoke with a lot of journalists, and Nitish ji was in the center of the elections all over the state. Not in one region or in a particular region, but people have voted for him. People, voted for. There is an overall sign of pro-incumbency. Nobody can deny that. And people voted for the work done by him. So he is going to be the chief minister. I'm pretty sure. We are pretty sure.
He's going to be the chief minister. Anukruti, your state spokesperson, Jan Suraj. Are you going to now accept ki arsh pe ya farsh pe? If these numbers hold, you're on the farsh, not on arsh.
Well, Rajdeep, first of all, good evening to all of you all and the rest of the country as well. Jan Suraj has set the narrative for these elections and nobody can deny that. Never in the past 35 years in Bihar had elections been fought on such issues like migration, like, Rozgar within Bihar, like health, education. These are, words that had gone missing from our political discourse. Everybody was only talking of caste dynamics.
Those votes are not coming to you, ma'am. Those issues are there, but people are not giving those votes. People who want Rozgar are not giving those votes to Prashant Kishor. They are giving it to Tejashwi.
That only time will tell, because see, somebody, promising a sarkari naukri to every family and not giving the calculation of how that's going to be afforded, because our entire budget is 3.25 lakh crore and the salaries itself will cost us close to 9 lakh crores. Where is he going to get all the money from? He's not bothered to explain. Secondly, we kept asking, okay, all these, the claims of giving 10 lakh jobs or business opportunities, whatever he claims, please make those names public. That never happened. Similarly, I am very amused and amazed at how for granted we are taking this whole, Mahilaएं vote kar rahi hai NDA ke liye because, the 10,000 thing has worked. 1 hour before the model code of conduct is, implemented, you do this after being in power for 20 years. You suddenly realize that you need something. Sorry?
It's not just for 10,000 rupees. Women of Bihar have been voting for Nitish Kumar because of the generational policy shift he has ensured in their favor. So that is what is reflecting even right now.
But having said that, Maria, let me contest that, Guru Prakash Paswan, before I come back to the guests in the studio, I want to understand this. This 10,000 rupees, cabinet decision taken last week of August, first implementation 75 lakh women September 25th, 10 days before the model code of conduct. Is there somewhere a recognition that the BJP realized voter was fatigued and possibly looking at options? Kya karo? Top up scheme kar do. Kuch log kehte hai vote kharidi. You bought votes with this 10,000 rupees. You even gave them while the campaign was on.
नहीं राजदीप जी, कुछ लोग नहीं कहते हैं, आप कहते हैं। आज सुबह आपका वीडियो मैंने भी देखा है जहां आपने ये आरोप लगाया है, बट इट हैज नो सेम्बलेंस टू रियलिटी। पंचायतों में आरक्षण वोट को देख के दिया था क्या? बिहार पुलिस में सर्वाधिक महिलाएं हैं, वोट को देख के दिया था क्या? बिहार सरकारी नौकरियों में 35% डोमिसाइल रिजर्वेशन इनको देख के थोड़ी दिया था। राजदीप जी, यू हैव टू गो बियॉन्ड दैट। आई थिंक वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट दी वुमेन हैव सॉलिडली सपोर्टेड नीतीश कुमार, राइट फ्रॉम लिकर बैन टू एम्पावरमेंट मेजर्स। पूरे देश में पंचायतों में महिला के आरक्षण नहीं थी, लेकिन महिलाओं को आरक्षण पंचायत में कहां मिला? तो बिहार में मिला। टुडे नीतीश Kumar has the blessings of the women of Bihar. You don't understand the entire political discourse during the election we saw. Rahul Gandhi came, छठी मां को अपमानित किया. Congress's munch, Congress's leadership, in the presence of Congress leaders, Prime Minister's late mother was abused. No one speak about it, but we have to understand that the people of Bihar are really sentimental about it. The women of Bihar specifically, it's a land of Sita, it's a land of Amrapali, it's a land of Ubhay Bharti. They have a different level of consciousness. अगर आपको लगता है पॉलिसी से वोट खरीदा जा सकता है, उनको स्वीकार किया जा सकता है,
no,
this is a very unreasonable ground.
To you. You're saying sentimental support, plus of course the fact, as Maria mentioned, that Nitish Kumar has cultivated this constituency. But I just want to go to the man of the moment, because he's an exit pollster who's seen all the ups and downs. He's a bit like Nitish Kumar. आपने उतार भी देखा है, चढ़ाव भी देखा है, आप फर्श पे भी रहे, हर्ष पे भी रहे. Today you're smiling. I don't know how you will be looking on come Friday. I hope you're smiling on Friday. But Pradeep, These numbers that you have put, I just heard one of my panelists in the studio saying Pradeep Gupta is playing safe for once. Today you are batting like Sunil Gavaskar and not like Sachin Tendulkar. Why? What has suddenly happened that you are keeping all options open? At your top end, you could even have a hung assembly.
Rajdeep, you are giving good cricket analogy. I will reply in cricket analogy itself. पिच देख के बल्लेबाजी की जाती है। पिच का मिजाज के बल्लेबाजी की जाती है कि चौके छक्के लगाने हैं या सेफ डिफेंसिव गावस्कर की स्टाइल में खेलना है। So that is what is our role and job is to try and understand the insight of the people, what they want, what are their needs, aspirations, and preference. Most importantly, the voting.
No, so are you saying that the pitch is a tricky one? Let's be clear. Let's take this cricket analogy again. Are you saying this is a tricky pitch, which is why you've decided to do a well left? You've realized that this is not a pitch for sixes and fours. It is a close election. Am I right?
Yes, I am saying this pitch is in case of T20, this pitch is definitely not to score 200 plus runs. This is the pitch to score around 140, 150. That is the winning number.
Pradeep ji, lot has been made about the Mahila, the women vote. A margin of 5%, how does it really come together for the NDA? And what I'd like to ask you, if it is a close election, if it is the lower limit of the NDA and the higher limit of the MJB, then those 12 seats, which there is a friendly fight on, where the margin of victory last time was, in votes was 12,000. Every seat went down to the wire. How much will that come into play? You must have studied those seats as well, sir.
Definitely, yes, Preeti, and I will reply for seat by seat for those seats as well. Give me some time. But I would always say that these political party call it friendly fight. I call it suicidal fight.
That could be the game changer.
It suits them to, that discourse among themselves. But when it comes to the voter and the voter sees the symbol of both the party in the machine, they confuse, and in the process, the vote gets split and they get defeated.
So are they losing all those friendly fights? Is the Mahagathbandhan losing all the friendly fights?
I will give you the number, but majority of them are losing. But I will give you the seat by seat number. Give you some time. But ने जो सवाल पूछा कि lower range and higher range of गठबंधन and lower range of NDA, इसकी क्या संभावना है और ये कहाँ से आ रही है, उसका मैं जवाब देने की कोशिश करता हूँ.
अच्छा प्रदीप जी जो युवा
finish off.
सारा तीनों डेमोग्राफी का जवाब दे दूंगा मैं, जाति का, महिला का और युवा का. जाति तो यू नो दैट कि सबके सामने MY यानी मुस्लिम यादव ने एक मुश्त वोट बड़ी संख्या में इनको किया. मुझे एक भी व्यक्ति यादव नहीं मिला जो बोले कि उसने जनसुराज को वोट किया. तो वहां पर पूरा का पूरा मुश्त एक वोट या AIM को सीमांचल में कहीं पर वोट किया. दूसरी बात, एक मुश्त वोट पड़ा है. नीतीश कुमार जी या NDA का जो सबसे
go back to your English now.
Okay, chaliye, okay. So I thought I am from Hindi government.
You're on so many channels now. You forget Hindi, English. But go ahead. You're playing on different pitches. Go ahead. That's why I said you're the Nitish Kumar in this election. Go ahead.
Okay. So now coming to Mahila, which is also 50%, and this election, if you see the election commission data itself, the age group of 18 to 39 contributes 50% of the electors. 18 to 39, 50% of the elector. And if you see our age-wise bifurcation, among first-time voter, Gathbandhan is having the lead. Among 18 to 20 to 29, decisive lead in both 37 to 46 and 44 respectively for the Gathbandhan, in favor of Gathbandhan, and 30 to 39, 1 point lead for NDA and 42. I mean, this, whatever you are seeing the Mahagathbandhan upper range, the chances of getting to this upper range is 5%, and 95% chance is that of NDA's upper range or the mid range. This is what is coming out to, because this 50% youth and particularly this incremental voter turnout is suggesting, though this youth work vote little less in comparison to the other age group because they are away from their hometown or the voting booth because of education and professional purposes, etc., and they are always reluctant to vote. But this time, because of Chhat, last 3 election held in assembly election in Bihar held in during Dasera to Diwali. Before Diwali, the election has been concluded. But this is the first time in last 15 years that election is happening after the Chhat Puja, meaning large chunk of these migrated, these all kind of youth, A B C D E F G, all are there and they have voted, and the net 6 percentage point increment in turnout. Now, last time it was even in general election and Lok Sabha assembly election, it was 57. Now it is 67. So this
No, but
6%.
you're saying, Pradeep, 1 minute. You need to explain. You're saying that there has been a high voter turnout among youth. Many of them are migrants. As per your survey, a large number of them have voted for the Mahagathbandhan. If the Mahagathbandhan is in the fight, it's because of this youth migrant vote. They've not gone to the Jan Suraj, which many people thought. They've not gone to Prashant Kishor. They've chosen Tejashwi. Am I right?
Absolutely, you are right. You elaborated very correctly. The second thing, now I'm coming to the Mahila. Now, that's the reason why you see among the male voters, 40 to NDA and 41 to Mahagathbandhan. Wherein female voter, it is 45 to NDA and 40 to Mahagathbandhan, meaning 5 points gap. And this Mahila vote is going to be decisive for sure. This is the reason why you see the difference is this much, and the closer range of, even if you take the worst possible scenario, which is very unlikely, 5% chance I give that scenario, 121 to NDA and 112.
And why did they choose them? Did you ask them why were the Mahilas choosing the NDA? What was the reason most of them gave?
Most of them saying we are voting for Nitish Modi combined. They always say Modi's name alongside the Nitish Kumar's name. And they say कि Nitish Kumar, हम लोग पूछते Nitish Kumar के बारे में आप क्या देखती हैं कि जो भी है उनकी स्वास्थ्य, हेल्थ वगैरह वगैरह, जैसे वो जैसे भी हैं, पलटू हो, स्वास्थ्य की प्रॉब्लम हो वगैरह वगैरह, वो जैसे भी है हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छे.
Okay, the Nemo factor, go ahead.
In your findings, how much was Tejashwi Yadav able to expand his vote base and get in others to vote for the Mahagathbandhan? Apart from the Muslim Yadav combined, how much was Congress able to take him forward? people like VIP, Mukesh Sahni, IP Gupta, what was the impact on ground in your findings?
The impact, everybody has contributed his assets on their own seats where they are contesting to. But having said that, the moment the Tejashwi is declared as Chief Minister candidate, that 3 to 4 percentage point incremental vote came into their fold, which is shifted from Prashant Kishor likely to earlier, in our tracker, earlier Prashant Kishor was scoring around 8 percentage points. In post-poll study, that come down to 4% point, because the moment you...
Pradeep ji, can you go back to what you said that you will explain? What is the condition under which it will be the higher limit with what you have predicted for the MGB and the lower limit with what you've predicted for the NDA?
Yes. So
what could happen for those numbers?
I was just explaining that 6% incremental in voter turnout on the account of deceased voters and the migrated permanently, that 48 lakhs has been deleted. Practically, though 66 lakh deleted, but these two contribute about 6 percentage points. And this 4% incremental vote, I see largely 4 out of that 4 large belongs to the youth in the age of 18 to 39 year for age group, where both the Mahagathbandhan is having the edge.
No, you're playing very... You see, I'm trying to make sense of what you're saying. This is a very strange election where for once you're playing safe, suggesting that the youth in large numbers have voted one way and anti-incumbency. The Mahila, largely, of course, above the age of 30, presumably, have voted overwhelmingly for NDA, overwhelmingly or substantially higher. You've got two big demographics. It's almost as if Mahila versus Yuva. This election has become Mahila on one side, Yuva on the other. Yuva keeping Tejashwi afloat and Mahila keeping the NDA afloat. Having said that, I would have expected one side to pull ahead. 2% normally should give a bigger victory than what you're doing. You're saying they are overall 2% ahead.
Rajdeep, if you see that when you say youth, the moment you आप जो यूथ का रेंज 18 to 29 जैसे ही करते हैं तो उसके अंदर जो that 50 become 25. Now, among the later part of 25, the NDA is having 1.8. And among the other side, which is the teenager kind of a youth, 18 to 29, their Mahagathbandhan is having the substance. Having said that, it's not that all the youth Mahila is also voting in this manner. No. There also Mahila is voting little more to NDA than to Mahagathbandhan. This is what is making this election and this result.
Two questions come. One, your poll is showing a lot of regional split. Take a look at your numbers. We'll put up in places last time where NDA, BJP in particular did well. This time the Mahagathbandhan is doing slightly better. Champaran is one example we gave.
Kosi.
And there are places like Kosi. And if you look at the other way around, from what your data suggests, Patliputra and Magad, where last time it was the MGB ahead, this time the situation seems to be changing. It's changing, for example, in Bhojpur. It's almost as if there's a complete reversal. Local anti-incumbency, as per your poll, seems to matter than any statewide anti-incumbency. Am I correct?
Let me tell you, Patliputra Magad, you mentioned that last time Mahagathbandhan did very well, and that too on account of purely LJP dented the prospect of JDU in this region. Largely, when we say Patliputra Magad, this includes the Jamui, the Gaya, the Aurangabad, where large number of seats have been contested by LJP against JDU. In total state, they dented the 33 seats, which is the sizable chunk.
So Lok Janshakti has made a big difference. Lok Janshakti being with the NDA has made a big difference.
In this region, see, I'll tell you this also. Now, if you compare this Lok Janshakti, what had happened last time and this time, last time Lok Janshakti contested separately and secured 6% votes. This time they are aligned with this, meaning they added 6 points to the NDA fold, but VIP contested earlier with NDA, now with Gathbandhan, removed those 2 points from there. So that 6 become 4 in this case. And now when it comes to the Prashant Kishor, whatever Prashant Kishor is getting 4% vote, 2.5 to 3% is coming from the NDA. So that whatever LGP shifted there is more or less null and void.
So you're saying Prashant Kishor is getting more votes of NDA than of Mahagathbandhan?
Of course.
Am I correct?
Of course, you can see. Yes, of course. 75% is getting vote of NDA.
Upper caste?
12%, yes, upper caste and OBC. 12% vote he is getting of Mahagathbandhan and 13% of others.
Okay, what explains this better strike rate of the JDU than BJP?
I mean, the strike rate better, meaning there also, if you see lower range and higher range, it is 56 for lower and higher range. But having said that, JDU is doing better because on those seats, last time it is dented. So on those particular seats, their sentiment is there. This time it should not happen the case. And dent meaning last time, see, 75 to 43. I mean, BJP scored 74 seats. To 43 seats for JDU, a substantial difference. But this time, which is not happening, and that sentiment is also play in the game.
So it's not that Nitish Kumar, according to this, is actually pulling the weight of the NDA.
No. It's a. I would say to see, if you see the CM preferential choice, there you will find this answer probably. In CM preferential choice, among this 43% of NDA vote, yes, Nitish Kumar is scoring 22, meaning rest other 21 is scoring other than Nitish Kumar. You're getting my point. So,
Pradeep ji, last time around in 2020, you had underpolled women. Is there a chance, outside chance is that there is a possibility you could have underpolled Prashant Kishor?
I would say Prashant Kishor के लिए I'm extraordinary confident. And as far as Prashant Kishor, मैं हिंदी में उसको define कर देता हूँ. जो प्रशांत किशोर है उनकी कोशिश जो है वो काबिले तारीफ है, लेकिन मंजिल अभी दूर.
मंजिल उनके लिए अभी दूर है. ये एक प्रश्न में सीमांचल पर I just want to bring in. सीमांचल में काफी परिस्थिति, the situation seems to be changing where the MGB is doing much better. Is there no OAC impact this time?
Yes, that's what I say. This time Musalman and Yadavs has decided not to split their vote at any cost. And that is the reason why I'm telling you, among the Yadav, see, this is there where the difference make the, when I say the declaring chief minister candidate will always get more incremental vote. But I'm saying not a single person of Yadav has said they are not voting for the...
Okay, but there is, let me throw the final googly question to you. You predicted Bihar last time and got it wrong. Yeah. The fact was you expected Tejashwi Yadav to have an edge.
Pull through.
This time you've given the edge very clearly to the NDA. Once bitten, twice shy. Is Bihar a tough state? 2015 you got it spot on. You were the only person to give the kind of sweep that Nitish and Lalu got. 2020 you got it wrong. That's why Utar Chadav I keep saying. Is 2025, how sure are you of these numbers? Given all that we've seen happening to pollsters in Haryana, in the Lok Sabha, are you dead sure? Because 41 plays 43, correct me if I'm wrong, is within the margin of error. Normally, pollsters give a 2 to 3% margin of error. Are you within that margin of error?
Of course, Rajdeep, even if the worst possible scenario, if you see the our NDA lower range and Mahagathbandhan higher range, it is coming to that point only. Now, as you mentioned about our track record, let me give the full story. I'm not getting into the bigger debate. I'm simply saying out of 3 Lok Sabha, and this is the third assembly election. Can you, as you mentioned, 2015 we were spot on an assembly election. In 2019, we predicted 39 seats for the NDA. They secured 39 seats. Anybody can predict that. Ravi Shankar.
But is it a tough election? No, Pradeep, nobody does. You see, I am asking you very clearly, is it a tough? When I look at these numbers, somewhere I get a sense, maybe you've underpolled NDA, possible. And maybe they could, with a 2% edge, get more. Or have you underpolled possibly one of the other parties, and thereby it becomes a close race? All I say, do you rule out a hung assembly?
Can I add to that question, Rajdeep?
Yeah,
Just
please.
with what Rajdeep said, Pradeep ji, the entire debate was that the Gathbandhan needs an X factor, plus MY, plus one more. If you look at your micro data, they have that 2% from VIP. And the micro data does seem to suggest that. So they do have that 2% extra. 2 to 4% extra.
Yeah, I'm telling you where they got this incremental vote from.
Right.
2%, as you rightly pointed out, the Malla community. Among the Ravi Dasya, also, if you see that, there they got good 2-3 points more from there.
Exactly. So even then, because you had only said, Pradeep ji, that I will only watch out at 2 communities,
Dalits.
they will define this election.
Yes,
the
that's what I'm
non-Jatav
saying.
Dalits, which are the non-Ravi Dasyas, and then you had said the Malla community, when you came to our show. Now, both of them have been able to take away a bit, a sizable chunk to the MGB has gone. So why is it that they're doing well, yet they are falling short?
No, this chunk is total absolute number for Malla is 4 and for Jatavs is 5. So 9, even if they score 6 or 7 points among the 9, that 31 plus 9, 6 to 7 point, it contribute about 31 plus 6 is 37. And the rest of it, even if they secure 10 to 20% point, the 41% point you will see witness it.
So overall, after having done the exit poll, what according to you has been the X factor? Is it the Yuva?
The caste, Mahila, Yuva. These are the 3 major factors. And most importantly, the clean governance of Nitish Kumar and the honest image of Nitish Kumar has paved the way in favor of BJP despite of 20 years of rule of Nitish Kumar.
Pradeep ji, which side
last
of the
30 seconds, if I
So then in
may,
that case,
had
Nitish
the
is the central
Congress been
figure.
able to pull ahead, had the Congress been able to pull in some more numbers, they would have taken the Mahagathbandhan past the victory mark?
Yes, you can say that. You can say that. They are doing, I mean, the strike rate of Mahagathbandhan, among the Mahagathbandhan group, the RJD strike rate is still better than the Congress one.
Right.
So that would have been made the difference.
Pradeep ji, ek aakhri sawal. If you can tell us before you go, which side is most favorable or which will happen, the lower side of the Mahagathbandhan or the upper side and vis-a-vis NDA? Which is most probable
best-
according to you?
The best possible situation in always in our range is midpoint, which is 130 to 110.
Okay, so essentially you're looking at 131 plays 108, which is not too dissimilar to what happened in 2020, is what Pradeep Gupta is. Your purple is looking very good. You're branding Axis My India. You're moving from studio to studio. This is the new gymnast called Pradeep Gupta. We'll wait and see whether you're still smiling at this time on Friday. I wish you well. And yes, क्या है?
राजदीप एक बार
कभी खुशी कभी गम यार, लाइफ है ये.
अरे कोई टेंशन नहीं राजदीप, फिर से बोलता हूँ, एक्सिस माई इंडिया का ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड आउट ऑफ 80 polls वी कुड कॉल करेक्टली द 74 6 times.
अरे 74 ठीक है सर कोई आपको ये
तो आप ट्रैक उसकी चिंता ही ना कीजिए, आप स्माइल हमेशा रहेगी. जो आपका कभी कभी थोड़ा सा वो दिखता है तो we could have done better, we could have put more effort, and it's every election here and there is always a good learning and it's a passion. We enjoy this like playing any like a sport.
Okay, we wish you well, Pradeep
You have
Gupta.
to play.
Okay, we'll wish you well. We'll see whether Bihar's pitch proves tricky again or you batted the right way. Appreciate you joining us on that Axis My India poll. I'm joined at this moment by senior BJP leader, MP from Bihar, Rajiv Pratap Rudy joins us. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Rudy. I'm not sure whether you're in Delhi at the Constitution Club or you're in Patna at the moment or in your constituency in Saran, but welcome to the show. You've seen the numbers, 118, 98 to 118 to the Mahagathbandhan, 121 to 141. Clear edge to the NDA, but not a sweep. What's your sense? Are you worried when you look at these numbers, given that there's only a 2% gap? 2% I know is significant, but it could be within the margin of error.
Well, most of the predictions have been indicating, it's not my prediction, but all of you have been predicting. And this particular prediction also says, so if we average it out, things are good for us. So there's no confusion there, the government would be of NDA. Now, you may be asking that this could switch. I would not not to get into that, whether it can switch, but I am more or less confirmed that the majority is going to vest with the NDA.
Where is the confidence coming from? Why do you believe that the NDA has the edge after 20 years of Nitish Kumar? Why do you believe the NDA has the edge? Incidentally, the BJP, as per the poll, is not doing as well as the JDU.
Can I conclude it why we should be winning? And that is pre-election I used to speak, and I'll just conclude it in 2 minutes. The first aspect is the choice in Bihar was again, if it was to be thought, was between Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi. The choice was between Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar. And I'm sure in all the situation which exists in Bihar, choice would have been Narendra Modi and Nitish Kumar. Coming to the third aspect of it, as far as voting is concerned, one aspect which you should remember that in Bihar, one thing is very prominent and very effectively played by every political party, including the Bharatiya Janata Party and all of us to it. It's about the caste. Now, the caste combination which has emerged on the side of the NDA is far more stronger than the caste combination which emerged on RJD and Congress. So you cannot deny that. And that aspect has to be kept in mind, including Tejashwi, who was a spoiler including Chirag, who could have acted as spoiler last time. This is not. So natural gainer has been Janata Dal United, and BJP would be able to retain the seats. And this is overall to the factors, two other factors which I've mentioned again. The third aspect, as I said, is about the caste, which is a combination which is positive on the NDA side. The fourth aspect which we are talking is one which we had been talking all throughout. Most of the predictions and thought process in Bihar prior to this was based and hinged upon Prashant Kishor. Now, as if Prashant Kishor was the real politics in Bihar, he's a good man, he did really hard work, and he took the space of the opposition all throughout 1 year. Even Rajdeep and anyone discussing with me would first start talking about in Bihar politics, how is Prashant Kishor doing, and then discuss as if there was no other political party in Bihar, nor the Congress, nor the BJP, no one. Now, when the elections came, he was nowhere in the elections, and ultimately what has happened, the campaign space which should have been there with the opposition, RJD and the Congress did not exist. Prashant Kishor vanished, and overall, the positive feeling for the NDA. This election, no one has analyzed it this way, but I would put it very strongly, this is the fourth point. And the fifth point, women in Bihar, and I would say it's strange, of course, because people did come back from their working places. But women in Bihar have always stayed back, and they stay back, look after the homes. And the people, large number of people who had migrated outside the state during Lalu Yadav's time have not come back, or may have come back partially. So the women in large numbers. And women in Bihar, during the absence of their male members, have been looked after by Nitish Kumar very well. Please remember this. Again, I would remind you all, Rajdeep, the women in Bihar, in absence of the male member going out, have been looked after very well. They have a faith in the government. They have belief in the government. Children got, girls got cycle, girls got clothes, and women got self-help groups, which is a very powerful tool in Bihar, did well. So all these factors are some of the factors you can deny.
Rudy ji, if, I'll get Maria to answer, but, if all that you said is true, then you should win a landslide. You see, that's my point. It's
Yes,
turning
I
out
would
to be
say
a
so.
seat by, it's turning out to be a much closer contest. That's the only puzzle in a way as per these numbers. But go ahead, Maria.
Yes, Mr. Rudy, also when it is about preferred chief ministerial candidate, it's the BJP doesn't have anyone in that list. It is still Tejashwi Yadav at 34% and Nitish Kumar at 22%. Do you think that the state BJP, because you are a member of parliament, you have 39 MPs in all of the entire NDA, you need more a pan-Bihar BJP leader?
So, of course, we never said that we had a chief minister candidate. And we don't claim so, because we said Nitish Kumar is our candidate. So 22 plus another 22 for Nitish Kumar from the BJP side. So that takes it to 44, if you have not put that figures there. So what I would say that today Nitish Kumar is the face of BJP in Bihar as far as the chief minister is concerned. And we have openly said it. And I put a tagline in Bihar saying Nitish Kumar the, hai aur rahenge. And this went on in Bihar for a quite bit. So that aspect, individual, you see, Bihar is not voting individual. There are a coalition of parties. There's RJD, there is Congress, there is NDA, which has BJP, JDU, LJP, Hum Party, and so forth and so on. So to say that it was hinged on two individuals, Nitish Kumar and Tejashwi Yadav, it is not true. It was overall a political combination. So you are correct absolutely when you say that there was no chief minister face. We still are not projecting any chief minister face. We have said that in this campaign, Nitish Kumar is our face, and that is all.
No, so he will be chief minister. Let's I keep hearing, well, why not just say very clearly, if we get a majority, Nitish ji is the chief minister. What is this face, suddenly face word? Say he's your CM candidate.
Yeah, I think you're getting it. I'm not saying face. I'm saying he's the chief minister. What word should? Tell me what I should say and I'll repeat it with you. He's the chief minister again.
Rajiv Pratap Rudy says that if the NDA wins, Nitish Babu will be chief minister.
2 months.
Okay.
Yes, I've said it. You tell me the sentence, I would repeat it. But why do you say that I'm mixing words? No, I've never minced words. I've always said that he's the chief minister face. And now that the no words being added, still I'm saying that.
Okay, Gaurav Sawant.
Mr. Rudy, why is it that the youth are not seen to be voting for the BJP and the NDA as far as this Access My India poll is concerned? They're more attracted towards the Mahagathbandhan. So where is your strategy not working there, sir?
I would disagree there. And if the youth has voted, now, you have concluded that women have voted for the NDA, so that is taken care of, 70% majority voting for women. I think that is concluded. When you come to the youth, now when you're talking about the youth, please remember Bihar is Bihar. I never talked about my caste that I'm a Thakur in Bihar ever in my 30 years of politics. But the day I've started talking, I feel that I've got more recognition in Bihar than ever I had. So similarly, when if a small youth group who is there in Bihar, please get back to Bihar and look at, they don't have a national philosophy of a Gen Z getting a change in Bihar. They are all entrenched and attracted toward their own caste group and mechanism. If youth has come up, youth would have come out in NDA favor also, because there is a caste combination which attracts Chirag Paswan, which attracts Jitan Ram Majhi, which attracts Kushwaha, which attracts
very
Rudy.
honest.
So,
I like the idea that we have an honest leader who accepts Baki sab kuch chodo. In the end, it's all about caste. But Javed Ansari, you want to ask a question to your old friend Rajiv Pratap Rudy.
Rudy ji, do you think the BJP would have done better if they had projected somebody like you as
No, no.
The chief
I'm not
ministerial
a very
face?
capable man. Please don't confuse me. I'm not in the game. God has been kind. As seventh term in parliament, I'm very fair in Bihar. I love Bihar. I love Bihari. So I'm not in the prayer. No projection works
Rajiv
because
Pratap
I
Rudy, on a
don't have a
serious
majority
note.
in caste. Please,
But
let's
on
get
a
back.
serious note, at the back of that. Okay, no, serious question. No, no, he
in
made
Bihar
fun
to
of
be
it.
projected.
But okay, sir, on a serious
Numbers in
note,
Bihar to be
you
projected. So
made
let's
light of it, but the sheer fact, you did really well, which is the Bharatiya Janata Party in 2020. This was your election to project a chief ministerial face. You know, one tends to forget that this is also an election where the next line of leaders are getting bloodied in. You have the likes of Prashant, Kishor, who are querying the pitch. The likes of Samrat Chaudhary, who one would have thought would have been the face of the BJP, is now fading along with this election, at least on ground. Do you admit you have failed as a party to project a chief ministerial face or a face for your party on ground, sir?
Just I want to tell you, it's a very good suggestion. Thanks, no one caught on to this idea to project a chief minister in BJP. Otherwise, we would have been completely doomed because Nitish Kumar has still a lot of credibility and following. So please, I'm very happy that no
That's
one
some
took
kind of
that bait that
acceptance.
BJP should project a chief minister. We are not prepared for it. We have not groomed for it.
But
And the
Rajivji,
day
who is taking the BJP forward in Bihar in the next election? There is a complete vacuum.
So let the next election come. We'll decide about it. Bihar is going to see a churning in Bihar next 5 years. So let's not get involved in the next election.
Churning,
We'll talk
sir,
about
these are big
2025
words.
first. No,
But
I'm
quintessential
very happy that
Rajiv
you're
Pratap
concerned
Rudy.
about future.
Rajiv
Yes.
Pratap Rudy, I
Extreme
want to say thank you to you for coming and being quite honest. I now know why you won the Constitution Club election, because you were able to, as a result, also get votes, not just BJP votes, but from the other side, because you're a charming man and you've done a lot of good for the Constitution Club. You've built an excellent gym.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
done
Rajdeep.
plenty. But good to see you on the show and good to see you smiling. Who knows where you will be next? But for now, for joining us, thanks very much.
Happy as I am with friends like you around, and we are all happy. All the best, and let's wait for the next 36 hours for the grand show to happen. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll wait to see what happens. But good to see a leader openly talking about caste, openly accepting that if Nitish was not projected, we'd be doomed. And I think that's an important element there. At the moment, we are now going to look at poll of polls, because lots of polls have come. We've just heard what the Axis My India poll has said. I'll repeat those numbers and then we'll go to the other polls. Remember, Axis My India is projecting 121 to 141 out of 243 for the NDA and 98 to 118 to the RJD. Midpoint is 108 plays 131. That's what Axis My India says. I'm also joined by Amitabh Tiwari, who's been polling voter vibe. Amitabh, please feel free, first of all, to tell us, aapka number kya hai? Final number is what? Are you somewhere close to what Pradeep said? I saw your numbers also giving an edge to the NDA, but can you give us your numbers in terms of seats at the moment, Amitabh?
Yeah, so in terms of vote share, we have NDA at 45% and Mahagathbandhan at 42%. So
you're giving a 3% edge. Pradeep Gupta is giving 2%.
2%, yeah, but it is all within the margin of error, correct? Because plus minus 3% is the margin of error.
So can I just get that right? Because Pradeep Gupta also is 43 plays 41. All of you are saying that it is within the margin of error. Are you also saying it's a tight contest?
See, because we have all discussed that it's a hyper-local contest seat by seat. The BJP has not denied tickets to a lot of MLAs, and that has created some level of anger against the MLAs who are not very popular. Secondly, apart from this Mahila Rozgar Yojana, there is no overall state-level theme in this election. So if you see in terms of seats, what we are saying is 125 to 145 for NDA and 95 to 115 for the Mahagathbandhan.
Can you just repeat those numbers?
125 to 145 for NDA.
So your halfway mark is 135 for the NDA.
Yeah, and 95 to 115 for the Mahagathbandhan. So 105 for them.
So roughly in the same range as 2020 broadly, 5-7 seats here and there.
Amongst females, NDA enjoys a 10% lead according to us.
10%?
A 10%. But amongst males, the Mahagathbandhan enjoys a 4% lead. So on a net basis, there is a 6% lead in gender for the NDA, which translates into a 3% vote share lead, because this time even the votes polled are same.
And which will be the single largest party?
Single largest party in our survey, JDU and RJD are tied.
So in your survey also JDU getting more seats than the BJP?
Yes. It's like 65 JDU plus minus 5, 60 for BJP, and then 10 for others plus minus 5.
You know, it's fascinating to look at that. You know, that's one big difference from 2020. The balance of power between the two allies, Rajat, is clearly shifting. I mean, are you surprised at that? If these numbers hold, this is a big if. This is the second pollster or third pollster who's come to us who said that JDU is possibly doing better or certainly as well as the BJP. That time, of course, Chirag Paswan was used, many believe, by the BJP to downsize Nitish. That's not happened this time. But it shows the regional party matters more than the national party in a state election.
Well, there are just too many conclusions that you're drawing.
So tell me, what is your conclusion if these numbers hold?
First and foremost, that sentiment is coming in that this is the farewell election of Nitish Kumar, and a lot of supporters of Nitish who had been suffering through fatigue and all of that. This time there was a sense of, satisfaction that this man has contributed to Bihar fundamentally. And I think that is something which is rallying the support for his core base, excited, going to the elections, hitting the elections properly, not in fighting. There was no disturbance in the seat allocation, ticket distribution of JDU. Cleanest ticket distribution of any party in this election was JDU. One of the finest works that the current national president and the state unit, all of them got together and they were able to manage it, which also resulted in nobody, doing friendly fight and this and that on the ground. And this was reverberating. And I believe BJP as a party, and I've said this before, and I concur with Rajiv Pratap Rudy ji also, BJP, some of their fundamental deputy chief ministerial candidates, they've toyed with 3 or 4 by now.
That's right.
None of them have actually stuck on to basically fill in that leadership vacuum to drive the party forward. And also keep in mind, Bihar is one state where historically RSS has been the weakest. There is some, the taseer hai Bihar, it remains socialist. And this is the reason why BJP is not able to go beyond that 18%, 20% mark fundamentally and take it to a level where they can claim that, that is the numero uno party in that state.
You raise a very important point because that is a big distinction, many believe, between Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Yes. And Uttar Pradesh, the BJP has built itself up for the last 30, 35 years, particularly post the Babri Masjid demolition, the Ram Rath Yatra, and there was a polarization that took place that eventually countered and many believe conquered the mandalization that took place.
But that disintegrated in 2024, Rajdeep.
Sorry?
That disintegrated in 2024 Uttar Pradesh elections.
We don't know whether, the word disintegration would be a very strong word to use.
No, with what you're saying, with what you suggested, the results
I think you have to look at it over the arc of the last 30, 35 years. The BJP has emerged as the #1 party of Uttar Pradesh by some distance. On the other hand, in Bihar, the BJP has struggled to emerge as a consistent #1 party. Because you tell me why. Tell me why.
Look at the figure that we are one of the poorest people of the world.
Yes.
You fight a sub-Saharan Africa. What do poor people live by? Ideology. And the fact that we have had anti-zamindari movements. Remember, after 1990, all these leaders owe themselves to a man called Karpuri Thakur.
So are you saying that the BJP is still seen as an upper caste party in Bihar?
Of course.
No, is it still seen?
Yes, it is.
Despite the fact that they've tried to consciously project OBC leaders.
Where is Kishor Prasad ji? Where is Renu Devi ji? Renu Devi ji is the face of the Mahila voter campaign? You tell me. Who is the face of all this?
They need to also rise up to the occasion. They were given
one
a
second,
chance.
sir. 1 second.
He's making it that they should rise to the occasion. Go ahead.
Can I speak, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Please fundamentally respect the fact that UP has not had the anti-feudal movements that Central and South Bihar have had. Please remember Arvind Narayan Das defining this whole area. Please remember Champaran and Peasant Satyagraha. Please remember the only place where there is a sadhu called Sajanam Saraswati, who is actually a Communist Party sadhu, and he becomes a leader of the Quit India movement. So Bihar is a place where Kisani is not about the rich, our land holding is the poorest, and the fact the women voters that you're talking about are landless women laborers.
Is that where, given what you've said, what is interesting, because many believe, Javed Ansari, that was the opportunity lost by Lalu Prasad. When Lalu Prasad won exactly 30 years ago, that big victory in 1995, it was seen as a victory of the poor and the oppressed under the name of social justice. We have to end the rule of the upper caste. Lalu Prasad eventually turned the Bahujanization or the Mandalization of Bihar into the Yadavization. And therefore, Tejashwi is in some way or the other paying the price for that. Lalu is both his asset and liability. He brings that 14-15% Yadav vote with him, but he also thereby is unable to build the umbrella coalition of the poor. That was the reason why Lalu Prasad won.
And
then in
Nitish
Bihar,
succeeded.
to get a majority, remember Nitish succeeded but never
Nitish
got
succeeded.
a majority on his own.
Yes.
So Nitish also,
Always
let's be very
needed
clear,
yes.
Nitish also needs the BJP. Just as Lalu Prasad probably also needs props along with him to actually go above the, or Tejashwi needs props to go above the halfway mark. He may be number one at the end of this election, but he's not anywhere close to a majority. Is there fundamentally a problem that Bihar has been unable to come out of a clear Mandal trap into Mandal 2.0 and build a wider coalition? None of them are able to do it. And Nitish has perhaps been the most successful in a way.
Correct. So Lalu's biggest failing was that he mistook the Mandal mandate for a mandate for himself and for Yadavization. Right. When he and Nitish Kumar were together, before the split, they romped home. Even after the split in 2014, when Mr. Modi had stormed the country, yes. In 2015, they defeated the BJP hands down in Bihar. It's only when they split. So it's only when, you know, every time Lalu makes this mistake, Lalu has been unable to expand the bouquet, unable to bring in more castes. He excluded. Why did Nitish Kumar break away from Lalu? Look at the kind of views that Nitish Kumar has or has had about the BJP and the RSS. But why is he broken away? Because there was absolutely no room for him.
Can I therefore ask you, one of the interesting aspects is Nitish's strength actually that he doesn't come from a numerically strong caste. Thereby, he doesn't intimidate the other groups. It's very strange that the leader with the 15% caste base, the Yadavs, attracts the Muslims but no one else. Yeah. And that could go back to arresting Advani and we can go back to the Rath Yatra. Yeah. But Nitish Kumar has been able to cultivate a larger umbrella coalition of the EBCs.
Yes, precisely. His social background of coming from Kurmi caste matters because in everyday experience, you do not find rest of the OBCs and Dalits facing a very antagonistic presence of the Kurmis, unlike the Yadavs who are numerically and also in many areas they have land holding. So that is one. Two, Nitish Kumar also changes the reference because then Lalu faces a Kurmi, a backward vis-a-vis the others. It is not Jagannath Mishra or Bhagwat Jha, etc. Right? So that is why you find that rest of the OBCs, non-Yadav OBCs, EBCs, the reference is always OBC versus OBC, and that also hinders the way of the BJP in Bihar.
It's interesting that we are still mentioning Lalu Prasad, even though he's not anywhere in this election, no poster, nothing. But Lalu ki, as a BJP leader said, even if Lalu was not there, we would have to invent him.
After life of Lalu,
to make the ghosts of Lalu have to remain. Yes, Maria.
But Rajdeep, Tejashwi Yadav has managed to expand and go beyond MY as well. He did experiment to some extent last time around. This time, if the Mahagathbandhan touches that 41%, it also means that the Yadavs can come together along with the Mallas. Then other EBC mobilization can also happen, something that Akhilesh has managed to do in the neighboring state.
Okay, I just want to give, there's one more poll that has come. Today's Chanakya, who also has got the occasional poll right and some wrong, as they all do. So his poll is showing NDA 44%, Mahagathbandhan 38%, others 18%. So a 6% lead as per today's Chanakya, a 6% lead to the NDA over the RJD. I'm waiting for his numbers, but what it clearly shows is the range at the moment. If you do a poll of polls, is coming from 2% to about 6%. In fact, 6% is possibly one of the highest that we've seen in terms of lead. He's giving a much larger percentage to others in terms of 18%. So broadly what you're seeing, there isn't a single poll, credibly done poll, which is giving a clear edge to the Mahagathbandhan. All the polls are giving a clear edge at the moment to the NDA. Amitabh Tiwari, you want to tell us, is there one particular factor that is operating when pollsters have seen? Is it the Mahila factor, the Yuva? As per Pradeep Gupta's Axis poll, Yuva with Mahagathbandhan, Mahilas with the NDA. Did you also see that?
Yeah, I mean, Yuva also has Yuva Mahila and Yuva Purush. So Yuva Mahila is with NDA in our surveys or trackers, and Yuva Purush is with Mahagathbandhan. Overall, male is with Mahagathbandhan anyways. But I think there are one theme which has emerged is that since the campaign of JSP, Jan Suraj, I mean, withered in the end. This election has become a highly bipolar election. Others have fallen below 20% if our numbers are correct.
You were doing a tracker. Was Prashant Kishor tracking better 3 months ago compared
Of course,
to today?
he was at 9.7% at one point of time. So let's say 10%.
Highest in your poll?
Yeah, so let's say 10%, now down to 5%. Which means this 5% which he was able to win away in the form of youth has moved back. Some of them have moved back to Mahagathbandhan, and some of the upper caste voters have moved back to BJP.
But Pradeep's
that's why
poll,
we've seen a high...
but Amitabh, Pradeep's poll seems to suggest the 4% that Jan Swaraj has, 3.5% has actually come in from the NDA and upper caste vote.
A large percentage.
He said 3.5.
And essentially what has happened is that's why we've also seen very high turnout, mobilization from both NDA and Mahagathbandhan to its core supporters, both hoping that these alliances are likely to win. Okay. So others have reduced to almost...
So Tejashwi Yadav, for him, this would have been his best chance to move forward after 2020 had he got support from the Congress party. You know, when he and Rahul Gandhi initially were together, but had they moved together, the upper caste votes, the Congress mobilization, perhaps he would have been past that 122 mark. That unfortunately did not happen. Rahul Gandhi missing in good
so much
60
time on a
days.
wasteful issue of SIR.
So
he kept lurking on this issue, which was non-issue on the ground. And for 50 days he was missing from the scene. So how do you build up a momentum around a campaign?
Precisely. So that is what seems to have led. That was the opportunity missed, because had that happened, you know, Tejashwi Yadav could have well been past the 122 mark, point 1.2. Perhaps Tejashwi Yadav made a mistake by giving away so many seats to the Congress and others in these elections.
No, I disagree.
It's very easy, and despite my abundant affection for Gaurav, a bit lazy to just pin it all on one party. Allow me to finish. The fact that they weren't able to sew up an alliance in the manner that they ought to have is not the fault of one party alone. Being the single largest party, the bigger party alliance partner, even RJD has. RJD.
Yeah, but I think what we are clear, Javed, is between the Vote Adhikar Yatra, that entire 5 or 6 weeks where you needed to build up momentum, possibly around an issue like Rozgar and not SIR. All of us went on the ground. We didn't see SIR resonating as a poll issue.
Absolutely.
You know, it resonated in TV studios, but it was clearly not resonating on the ground. As the Israelis said once about Yasser Arafat, he never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity. The Congress party, again, may have to answer that, but you know how it is. They will clutch to straws if they win, as per one poll, at least 17 to 19 seats.